Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar to discuss a clinical trial update with Dr. Ellen Kim. And today she will be sharing an update on the real-world clinical study of the treatment of mycosis fungoides with hypericin ointment and visible light. Everyone knows, I think, knows me. I'm Susan Thornton, the CEO of the Cutaneous Lymphoma Foundation, and I'm joined today by Dr. Ellen Kim, who's the Vice Chair of Clinical Operations, the Director of the Cutaneous Lymphoma Program and Photopheresis Service, and Professor of Dermatology at the Hospital of the University of Pennsylvania. Welcome, Dr. Kim. It's a delight to have you with us today.
Hi, Susan. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, it's really great. So, we're going to get into the study that you're conducting and some of the results. But first, I thought it would be great if you could provide for us just an overview of the current landscape, maybe focused specifically on skin-directed therapies. And what does that look like today in clinical practice? What kinds of therapies do we have available? Just so we get an understanding and appreciation of where we are today.
So as most of you know, we have both topical therapies, phototherapy, and radiation therapy. And for topical therapies, there's topical steroids, and we also have different creams and gels that are non-steroidal. And they all are beneficial for our patients. But since CTCL is a chronic disease, long-term side effect profile becomes an issue. So things like contact dermatitis from some agents, things like sun damage, skin cancer development from phototherapy, those can impact patients and make them have to switch. So we need new therapies. And then access to therapies are an issue. So phototherapy, it's getting a little bit harder to get PUVA phototherapy because dermatology offices don't have it. It's hard to get oxorolin. So there hasn't been an FDA-approved new skin-directed therapy for over 10 years. So we really need new ones and ones that are just as safe or hopefully safer.
Right. Excellent, excellent. So that kind of brings us to our current topic of discussion, which is a new therapy called HyBryte. So for folks that may not have been following the HyBryte journey through clinical trial, can you give us an understanding of this therapy, what makes it different, and how does it work?
So it's a unique therapy. It's photodynamic therapy, and it utilizes a topical called hypericin, synthetic hypericin. It's a photosensitizer, and you apply it to your lesions, and then 24 hours later, you expose the lesions to visible light, specifically long wavelength light. And that long wavelength light helps penetrate a bit deeper in the skin, and it activates the medicine, and then through a series of what we call reactive oxygen species generation leads to CTCL being treated. And it has a unique mechanism of action. So it doesn't damage DNA, unlike phototherapy. So theoretically, it's less mutagenic, less risk of skin cancer. It's not systemically absorbed based on prior studies. And overall seems to be quite well tolerated in terms of its effects on the local skin area.
Very interesting, very interesting. And there was a phase 3 clinical trial that was completed. So there was some data from that trial that was published. Can you share a little bit about the outcomes from that?
We were very proud to complete the largest phase 3 randomized placebo-controlled trial in CTCL with the FLASH study. And it was published in JAMA Dermatology a few years ago. So we enrolled 169 patients across 39 sites. And the question we asked, the primary endpoint, was clinical response rate after 6 weeks of treatment, twice weekly, 6 weeks of treatment with a 2-week rest period. And then after that, patients were allowed to continue on the open label portion and continue treatment for another 6 weeks, cycle 2, and another 6 weeks after that, cycle 3, for a total of 18 weeks. And the response rates were met endpoint. So we saw clinical response at 6 weeks, and it peaked at 18 weeks at 48% clinical overall response rate. And so we were gratified to see that. It's the same as other skin-directed therapies out there. We demonstrated that. And then the side effect profile was really good. So we were happy to see that we did not see major phototoxicity or sunburn, and it's not absorbed internally. And so we didn't see many patients drop out. They continued with the study since it was well tolerated.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So let's flip it over to your study. This is an investigator-initiated study, and it's one institution. So it's there at the University of Pennsylvania. Can you talk a little bit about your study, what you're seeing? You're just kind of in the middle of it, maybe, but you have seen some data and have some outcomes, and that's what we want to hear about today.
So investigator-initiated studies provide useful information to supplement the randomized controlled studies. We wanted it to be real world, to reflect how patients get currently other types of phototherapy, light-based therapy. So we designed the study to be open label, so all patients got active study drug twice a week. But we had them do it continuously. So there were no 2-week rest periods since they tolerated it so well in the FLASH study. We also made it longer. So we gave the opportunity to have the treatment for 1 year, because we know that for traditional phototherapy, patients are often on treatment between 4 months to 24 months before they hit maximal response. We also wanted to see whether higher light doses could perhaps cause faster improvement or even higher improvement. So those are all the things that were unique about the investigator-initiated study. So we have had 9 patients enrolled, and 7 have completed the study. And that ranged between 18 weeks of treatment up to 54 weeks. And then 2 are still in the study.
Great, great. And just to let everybody know, when you hear those timelines, right, that's why these studies take a long time, because people have to go through the whole process. And then once you have the number of people that you want to go through the process, then you get to crunch all the numbers. So we're not to the end yet, but hopefully we'll get there. And when you have wrapped up your study and you have data that you can share, we'll definitely have to circle back with what has happened. So I guess at this point, what would your take-home message be for patients with regards to this new potential therapeutic and how it might fit into the toolbox?
Yeah, so I can share the data we have so far from the investigator-initiated study. We used the same endpoints that we did for FLASH. So of the 8 patients who could be evaluated through week 18, we saw 75% of them had achieved what we call treatment success. So that was distinctly higher than what we saw from the FLASH study, and again, comparable to other types of phototherapy. And so 4 of them have gone on to complete the 54-week treatment, and their improvement in their skin score came out at 85%. So we can see that by treating continuously and for longer, that the response rates are higher than when we observed, in FLASH. And again, it's the same safety profile. So patients tolerated really well. There were no dropouts related to serious side effects. Because of this, we're really excited, because we also have another study that's ongoing called the FLASH-2 study. It's a phase 3 placebo-controlled trial similar to FLASH-1, but it's using a similar type of treatment schedule and endpoint timeline to our investigator-initiated study. So that just became open enrollment here in the US starting in January. And we're really excited and hopeful that the phase 3 will show similar results, similar safety to what I'm seeing on my investigator-initiated study. And so we're very excited about it. There are not that many clinical trials going on for early stage disease. And so, hopefully we can get this over the finish line through great collaboration with colleagues and with patients, especially, who are willing to spend the time and participate in clinical trials. We can't thank them enough. It's so critical to getting new therapies approved.
Yeah, thank you. And just to mention for everyone, you can find both Dr. Kim's investigator study as well as the larger multi-center Flash 2 study on our website. If you look under the clinical trials tab, they'll all come up. And if you're close to the University of Pennsylvania, you can participate with Dr. Kim or in one or both. And if you're close to the other centers around the country, we have them listed as well. So you can check out more information about that. So, and you can always go out to clinicaltrials.gov, but you can get there faster if you get through the foundation's website. So thank you, Dr. Kim. It's really exciting to hear the data. We look forward to staying engaged as the process unfolds. And when you have data that you're able to share, we'll bring you back on so you can do another update and share with everybody. But it's exciting to think about the potential for new therapies, for skin-directed therapies, to have something else in our toolbox. So thanks so much. Really appreciate your time, your energy, and we look forward to following along as things develop.
Thank you, Susan. Thanks, everyone.